they are with what's happened for them this season as well. But there's no way they're thinking at the moment, look, give it the all for your 60 minutes and then we'll get the game won, we'll bring on the kids and everything will be fine. It just doesn't work like that. This is going to be a very tough game that could go right to the very end.
The two sets of players are out on the pitch below us. The Tottenham players just lining up for their pre-match photograph. There's a couple of teenagers in the starting 11. We now see as senior first-team players. They've played so many games this season. Lucas Bergvall, still just 18 years of age, the Swede in midfield. He's played every single European game over the course of the campaign. Archie Gray is making his 27th appearance tonight. He's playing at left-back. He's played everywhere along that back four, even though he is a midfielder by trade. Son, the Tottenham captain, just exchanging the pennant with his opposite number, the very experienced Hoffenheim goalkeeper Oliver Baumann. Do they need a performance from Son tonight, because he's not been at his best over the course of the campaign?
Absolutely, they need a leader's performance, a captain's performance. I think what I'd say about Son is you know what you get with him 100%. He may not play well all the time, but he'll never shirk, and he'll take that responsibility. Is he quite the player that he used to be of recent years? I'm not so sure. He's perhaps lost a little bit, maybe a yard of pace, but he's still skillful. He's still got quick feet. The question for me is, he needs to be a little bit more composed in front of goal, because I don't think he quite scores enough, and maybe doesn't even get in the positions quite as many times as he used to, so therefore he needs to be even more clinical. But absolutely, and if you look at this 11, going forward with Maddison and Bergvall and Bentancur, and then you got Kulusevski, who perhaps has dropped off just a little, but has been Spurs' best player so far this season, and Richarlison, who will have a point to prove for sure. I still believe Tottenham can go and win this game.
Well, it's been a busy week of European action across the Talksport network. We were in Monte Carlo with Aston Villa as they lost to Monaco in the Champions League on Tuesday. Last night we had a full coverage of team in Paris. Manchester City 2-0 up, ended up losing that game against Paris Saint-Germain. So what can Tottenham do to restore a little bit of English pride this evening? They've come to southwest Germany, the Rhine area of the country, to try and do just that. It is Spurs all in white tonight, shooting from left to right, who get us underway. Knowing a victory will be a giant step towards qualification for the last 16 of the Europa League. Hoffenheim, with just one European win to their name all season, all in blue, are attacking from right to left. Reminder of the Tottenham side for you: Austin, the goalkeeper, with Kinski not registered to play in this competition yet. Porro, Dragusin, Davis and Gray the back four. Bergvall, Bentancur and Maddison make up the midfield three, with Kulusevski and Son either side of Richarlison in attack. As the home side come forward down their right, they have Baumann in goal. It's back four from Hoffenheim of Kaderabak, Akpoguma and Soki and Jurasek, Becker, Stack, Bischoff and Logic the midfield, with former Leicester man Kramaric alongside Morstead up front. Pedro Porro hooking the ball clear on the edge of his own penalty area. Winning a throw in for Spurs. Good early possession though from Hoffenheim's goal.
Yeah, and I think, Hoffenheim, I'm sure, will be thinking, look, we're playing at home. We talked about how Spurs will approach this, but I think they should approach this in a very positive way as well. And especially looking at Brandon Austin, who I have to say, I thought had a really good game against Newcastle, but he's still very inexperienced at first team level. So, he's playing in Europe, away from home, trying to get an intimidating atmosphere. Why not try and test him early? They haven't as yet, but I'm sure they'll try.
Down with the goalkeeper, launched it long upfield, and Kramaric had strayed into an offside position. As well as being Leicester's record signing, he's also Hoffenheim's all-time leading goal scorer. This is a club who, not that long ago, were playing village football, bankrolled by a computer software billionaire. They were first promoted to the Bundesliga back in 2008. Qualified for the Europa League by finishing 7th last season, but it has quickly unravelled. They got a new sporting director who came in from Sturm Graz, immediately appointed Christian Ilzer, who won the double in Austria last season as the new manager. Spent a lot of money on new signings and it just hasn't worked out. As Tottenham have the ball with James Maddison, he strokes it forward to Richarlison, left corner of the penalty area, chance to get across in the box. Kulusevski lurking at the far post, he sort of ushers it into the arms of the goalkeeper Baumann, and he makes the save down low to his left hand side, 0-0.
It's a lovely ball actually from Richarlison, just inside the box with the outside of his right foot. He and Son had switched over, and I'm thinking that Son's got to just look up and maybe just try and take that gamble. He's whipped it just in behind the defenders, keeper can't come out. It's good defending in the end. Kulusevski was there at the far post, ready to put in what would have been a simple tap-in.
It's a lovely ball over the top from Pedro Porro, brought down inside the penalty area by Maddison, and he rifles the ball into the roof of the Hoffenheim net. It's a perfect start for this patched up Tottenham team. 4 minutes on the clock, Maddison the scorer. It is Hoffenheim 0, Tottenham 1. And Scott Minter, how much does he owe to the vision of his right back Pedro Porro?
Yeah, fantastic pass. We're just talking about how Spurs were very much on the front foot with that opportunity they had. The ball was played out to Pedro Porro. He's completely free, but because they're playing a high line, Hoffenheim, a fair play to James Maddison. By pushing up, it meant the Spurs had 4, and therefore the Hoffenheim defenders were not able to actually pick up man for man. And in the end, they didn't pick up anyone, but it's a wonderful first touch from James Maddison. And then it's about, have you got the composure? Well, we know that James Maddison certainly has that. And he puts it past Baumann, who's an excellent goalkeeper, but there's no way you're stopping that. It's a really good goal, and what a wonderful start for Tottenham Hotspur.
9th goal of the season for Maddison. He celebrates by jumping for joy down by the corner flag, punches the air, and that is just what Ange Postecoglou, with all those absentees, would have been dreaming of.
Do you know what's a really important start for James Maddison personally as well? We know that he hasn't quite had the season that he would have wanted. He doesn't start as many games. He certainly doesn't finish as many games as he'd like. So that will give him a lot of confidence, as well as the rest of the team and Ange Postecoglou himself as well.
As it stands, Tottenham into those all-important top 8 positions. That would mean avoiding a potential playoff their spot in the round of 16. They do have that safety blanket of a home game against Elfsborg next week. They're up to 4th in the table as it stands. Going above Rangers, who are in action live on Talksport later this evening. They take on Manchester United in that Battle of Britain. All 3 British clubs in decent shape to make it through to the next round. Short corner by Spurs. Son's found Maddison, the goal scorer, into the penalty area, tries to cut it back towards Bergvall, half cleared away, and it's poked behind for what will be another Tottenham corner. Anton Stach with the challenge. Well, I think the flag may have gone up for offside anyway, so it's going to be a free kick for Hoffenheim, and it stays 1-0 to Spurs.
Fair play to Spurs though, they're not just sitting back in that 1-goal lead, are they? They're going forward already, won themselves a corner. And Hoffenheim, just within the first 5 minutes, you can see they're not looking to try and play it out. They don't want to try and beat the Spurs press, going long each time, but they're not winning it. The centre-halves of Spurs are just winning it, and that led to the goal. It's a long kick out, head down, the ball was played to Pedro Porro, and a wonderful ball for Maddison to go and finish it. Got to be offering a little bit more, Hoffenheim.
They've only won one of their last 6 against German opposition, have Tottenham, 2 times winners of this competition, and it was the UEFA Cup most recently back in 1984. They were, when I last looked, still bookmakers' favourites to win it again. Of course, Ange Postecoglou very publicly has said that he always left silverware in his second season. Now 1-0 up against Liverpool, heading into the second leg of their League Cup semi-final as well. The game will be live on Talksport in a couple of weeks' time.
Look, we know how strong the Premier League is, but I think that's very much an English market to put Spurs as favourites, especially when you see where they are in the Premier League right now and the season they're having.
You look at the teams who are likely to go through into the round of 16. Lazio top of the table as it stands. Athletic Bilbao, Lyon, Anderlecht, Frankfurt, Victoria Pilsen, only just outside the top 8. These are not household European names.
No, do you know what? It's a great opportunity. You know, and you can talk about Ajax, Real Sociedad, Roma, Porto. You know, some very good teams who have had very good teams in the past, but at this moment in time, it is a wonderful opportunity, and not just for Spurs. As bad as Manchester United are playing right now, if Ruben Amorim can get it right, then It's not a really strong Europa League.
Spurs win the ball away on the halfway line. Hoffenheim coming forward with Kramaric into the penalty area. Pulled back by Bischoff, and then the shot blocked by Dragusin on the edge of the area. And it should be nodded clear by Bentancur, and in the end it's Maddison who just prods it away. The Spurs goal scorer. They lead by 1-0, 1-0 up after 4 minutes. Maddison with a brilliant finish into the roof of the net after Pedro Porro sent him clean through. The long punt upfield. Hoffenheim has seen plenty of the ball since then. It's cleared by Ben Davies, the Welsh international. Richarlison on the chase, but Hoffenheim have it back down their left-hand side with the Czech Republic international David Jurasek. Bentancur mopping up again for Tottenham. Then Bergvall made a lovely ball out to the right, and Kulusevski. Richarlison made a good run ahead of Kulusevski, and he looks to cross towards Son. The goalkeeper thought about coming and then quickly retreated. Can he get a shot off here? Son pulls it back instead to the goal scorer Maddison. That's taken a little bit of the momentum out of the Tottenham attack. He's still got the ball, Maddison in the penalty area. Son turns, finds Bergvall. Richarlison in space to his right. He's just over good the pass. It's a goal kick for Hoffenheim. It stays 1-0 Spurs.
Yeah, I just wonder if Bergvall could have had a shot first time, or taken a tight touch and then a shot as well. By the time he tried to play it out, it was overhit for sure. I think it's been an excellent first 9 minutes from Tottenham Hotspur. We wondered how they would start, and I said, why not start on the front foot? Why not put this team under pressure that's not doing very well in the Bundesliga? Yes, you've got all these injuries, but this 11 you've got out. And what I do like, almost to a man, apart from maybe Archie Gray, is that the square pegs in square holes. So everyone's comfortable in the position they're playing in, and we're seeing that so far in the first 10 minutes.
10 minutes played on Talksport 2. It's Spurs leading by that early Maddison goal. Lovely turn from Maddison midway inside his own half, and he was being held back there. And that was going to be the first yellow card of the evening, given to Kevin Akpoguma, the Nigerian centre-back. Don't think he can have too many complaints. Scott was quite cynical, that.
It's a good turn, that, wasn't it? Really good turn. In the end, he was almost rugby tackling and pulling in the shirt. It was that far away. Maddison's bossing it at the moment, running the show. And when you've got a player with this much form within the game, you just try and find a way to get him on the ball as much as possible.
Goalkeeper Baumann in possession for Hoffenheim. They won one of their last 7 at home, Hoffenheim. Scott mentioned already the prospect of a potential relegation playoff only a year after finishing 7th in the Bundesliga. In fact, both these teams 15th in their respective leagues at the start of play. It's Spurs who lead 1-0. Richarlison winning it back deep inside the Hoffenheim half, and then the ball forward by Bentancur is picked up by Baumann.
Yeah, the only thing about Hoffenheim being 15th is there's only 18 teams in the Bundesliga, so they do have to be careful. That win at the weekend against another relegation candidate was crucial.
Played back by Kaderabek, the left back, to Baumann. He's probably had more touches, the goalkeeper for Hoffenheim, than anybody else in a blue shirt so far tonight.
Yeah, I think that's a big compliment to Spurs. Again, very much on the front foot. It's the first time now we've really seen Hoffenheim try to get the ball down and play through Spurs' midfield.
Ball played up to the edge of the Tottenham penalty area. Laid off by Morstead, and the cross into the box is straight to the gloves of Brandon Austin. His only previous senior appearance for Tottenham was that 2-1 defeat at home to Newcastle a couple of weeks ago. He's had to wait very patiently, the 25-year-old, making his European debut tonight. His last game before that Newcastle appearance was for Orlando City in the MLS back in July of 2021. Didn't do a lot wrong against Newcastle, but they were already well on the way to signing Anthony Kinski by then.
I thought he was excellent against Newcastle. I thought it was a really good... I think it was his debut, wasn't it? The only time he's played for Spurs.
Here they come again. Top ball fed into Richarlison. Inside the penalty area, gets his shots away. It wasn't convincing goalkeeping by Baumann. In the end, it bounced off his knees and away to safety. Clever little run that by Richarlison.
Yes, it was, in behind, and he was right to shoot first time, and in the end it was straight at Baumann. Just a couple of yards to the side, then who knows, that might have been 2-0. But Spurs, listen, they need to smell blood here. It's not a good Hoffenheim side who are not playing well in this particular game. They've not started well. Spurs have. Don't settle on 1-0.
Ball inside the Hoffenheim area, played upfield by Akpoguma, but collected by Dragusin, the Romanian international. He's making his 26th appearance this season. It shows the issues that Spurs have had. I mean, Van der Ven and Romero, their two first-choice centre-backs, missing a lot of football. Dragusin there, showing a clean pair of heels to Max Morstead, inviting the press and then playing the ball back into his own half to Davis. 13 minutes played. You're listening to Europa League live on Talksport 2. It's Hoffenheim 0, Spurs 1. James Maddison with a goal. A little over 3 minutes on the clock.
It's been excellent.
Dragusin.
Sorry, Alex. It's been just a fantastic start. It's been a dream start from Spurs. They even forget about the scoreline, but that's obviously the most important thing. They have dominated this game.
Here's Son, the captain. Oh, he's found the run of Pedro Porro. Porro probably should have made it 2-0. He made a clever little dart into the penalty area, picked up the pass from Son, which was a beauty. Got in between the two Hoffenheim centre-backs, then from around about 16 yards, just dragged the left foot shot wide. Yeah, you could ask what the fullback was doing there.
Well, nothing probably about it. He should have done. I'm certainly not going to say, obviously being in the fullback union, that's a fullback shot right in front of goal. I think it was more, if that's on his right foot, he sticks the ball in the back of the net. Really good run, really good pass. But yeah, just because on his left foot, he's just dragged it a little bit. But again, all the time it's 1-0. Hoffenheim, I don't believe, will play this bad for the whole 90 minutes. So while Spurs are on top, go for that second goal.
Good run down the left though, powerfully done by Jurasek. Barge Maddison off the ball, plays it into the Tottenham penalty area. Kramaric with a cross from the left-hand side. Prodded away by Davis, picked up well by Kulusevski. Good strength from him. In the end, he's forced to run it out of play for an Hoffenheim throw. We've played 15 minutes, 1-0 Spurs lead. Remember, Manchester United against Rangers still to come tonight. Live over on Talksport. If there's a winner in that game, they will take a giant step towards the round of 16 and automatic qualification. Stats there, just been penalised for a late challenge on Maddison. The referee wants a word with the Hoffenheim midfielder, former Mainz man. Maddison, the Tottenham goal scorer, just helped to his feet by Benton Kerr.
You asked me at the start, is the aim to try and win it early and then maybe play some of the youngsters? Well, they're playing as if that is the aim, and they've almost been told that. They've come out, they've dominated, played at 100%, very good with the ball, created chances, scored the goal.
They're coming forward again here with Son. Long ball from the halfway line, Son into the penalty area. Good footwork from the captain, then he blazes it over right-footed. Beautiful play to get into the shooting position from Son. He gets right underneath the effort. It's high over the crossbar. It's again a simple long ball upfield from inside their own half. One pass and they're in, Scott.
Yeah, absolutely. We talked about Son pre-match, about perhaps not being quite as clinical as he could or should be. He's done the hard work. He's gone short to go long. He's got the ball over the top. He's cut inside. He's inside the box. Yes, there's defenders in front of him. You've got to hit the target, even if it means that one of the defenders have blocked it. Don't shoot over.
Pedro Porro linking up with Kulusevski down the right-hand side, but he can't keep the ball in play, and Hoffenheim have a throw deep inside their own half. We've played 17 minutes. Spurs, that early Maddison goal to the good. Up to fourth in the Europa League as it stands. Of course, a lot of football still to be played over the course of the evening. One more round of matches next Thursday before the knockout rounds begin. It's all set up tantalising in the Champions League as well. Wednesday night, Manchester City need a win at home to Club Brugge to avoid potential elimination. Aston Villa against Celtic, all to play for in terms of place in the last 16 in that game as well. I think the jury may be still out on the new format, but certainly a lot of jeopardy going into the final couple of rounds of matches, which is what UEFA intended. As Hoffenheim come forward, the ball is chipped into the Tottenham half of the pitch, and there's a bit of space down the left-hand side for Jurasek to exploit. Pulls it back towards Kramaric. Bentancur read it well, and then the clearance from Davis hits Bergvall, and Pedro Porro inside his own box has to stop the ball going behind for a corner. there was another foul by Tom Bischoff on Kulusevski, and Spurs have a free kick just on the edge of the 18-yard box. 1-0 Tottenham.
Well, one of the few times that Hoffenheim had actually got into the final third, and Spurs did really well there. They got numbers back. They made sure there wasn't a shot on target. Pedro Porro could have just kicked the ball out. He didn't. He played it into Kulusevski, who just got that touch behind him and then went down and won the free kick. As I say, at this moment in time, Ange must be absolutely delighted with how they're playing so far, both offensively and defensively.
Maddison's goal in the 4th minute, firing into the roof of the net, is the one that has given Tottenham the platform for a potential away win. Kulusevski, the Swedish international, on halfway, linking up with Porro, and then blonde-haired Bergvall takes over. Back to Pedro Porro again, had the chance to double Tottenham's lead, but fired wide. Brandon Austin, all in yellow. The Spurs goalkeeper has been a spectator so far, which is exactly what Ange Postecoglou would have wanted.
It's not a shot to save here, has he? No shots on target from Hoffenheim, the home side, in the first 18 and a half minutes. The Spurs dominating.
Son in the left wing position, running it. Kaderovet, and then he was upended unfairly on the edge of the penalty area. Referee had a good view of it, says play on, and Hoffenheim looking to counter with Adam Klojic. In the end, it's a throw over on the far right touchline.
A good tackle from Bentancur as well. You know, he's the one in that 4-3-3 who's sitting in front of the back four, receiving the ball when he needs to, but also defending really well for his team.
It wasn't great defending from Dejan Kulusevski on the edge of his own penalty area, a bit overzealous with the challenge on Kramaric, and it's going to be a free kick here for Hoffenheim within shooting range.
When you're dominating and on top, and you're 1-0 away from home, the last thing you want to do is give the ball away or make a foul 25 yards out, bang in front of goal. Kulusevski should be more experienced and know that. That's such an attacker's tackle, it really is.
Free kick is going to be taken just to the left of centre, 8 yards outside the penalty area, so around about 25 yards from goal. Austin, who hasn't had anything to do so far, he is organising a 4-man wall just inside the D on the edge of the box. And Postecoglou will be deeply frustrated if this comes to anything meaningful. The two Hoffenheim players over the ball are Adam Klojic and Tom Bischoff, the talented teenager. It's going to be Klojic. We welcome listeners from Talksport. The free kick into that Tottenham wall. The ball still bouncing around inside the Spurs area, but it's run clear by Richarlison. Hasn't got too much by way of support, and he's easily out-muscled Richarlison. And then the ball chipped into the Tottenham penalty area. They're claiming handball against Rodrigo Bentancur. He volleys the ball away and ignores the protest, but struggling to clear their lines here. Tottenham having dominated the opening 21 minutes. They lead through James Maddison's finish into the roof of the net on 4 minutes, Tottenham. But this is the first prolonged spell of pressure that Hoffenheim have really managed to come up with. Tottenham have done well there, getting back in shape and forcing Hoffenheim, Scott Minto, back to halfway. Yeah, I was just about to say that. It's the first time, and it's probably only lasted about 60 to 90 seconds that Hoffenheim have actually been able to keep the ball. It's been a wonderful start from Spurs in the first 20 minutes. They've dominated from the very start. Look very strong defensively. Bentancur is protecting his back four really well, but also, even apart from the goal, they've been creating chances. Son had a shot over, should have done better. Pedro Porro from 18 yards out on his left foot should have hit the target. It was a wonderful finish from James Maddison. Hoffenheim 0, Tottenham 1. Spurs coming forward with Maddison. Son's onside. He's into the penalty area. He gets the shot away. It deflects and it nestles into the bottom corner. And Tottenham do double their lead. And it's the captain, Son, with his 9th goal of the season. It came from a rapid counter-attack. The Hoffenheim defence caught too high upfield, and when he needed a bit of good fortune, Son with a finish, he got it. It is Hoffenheim 0, Spurs 2. Wow, he did get a lot of fortune, and actually the ball, when Bentancur in his own box, the ball did come off his arm, but I think it's the right decision not to give a penalty. Suddenly Spurs go down the other end, and look, there's no doubt about it, Son was very lucky with the deflection, but Spurs earn the luck. They're so good with the ball, they can counter-attack really well. James Maddison yet again being in the thick of it,
And as Son comes onto his left foot, he strikes it, whether it's going in or not, I'm not so sure, but it bounces over Baumann, the goalkeeper. And you know what? Yes, you can say it's a lucky goal, but I think Spurs deserve to be 2-0 ahead after 20 minutes. They've dominated that much.
Deflection gives the goalkeeper absolutely no chance, but having ridden out that little bit of Hoffenheim pressure, Tottenham very quickly go up through the gears and show their attacking prowess. It already feels like it could be a long night for the German hosts.
Well, let's hope so from an English point of view and a Spurs point of view as well. I mean, obviously Spurs have to be careful now that they don't concede the next goal, but just have this mindset. What's really impressed me from the very start, they've been on the front foot, and even when they made it 1-0 straight away, they were going down the other end and created a couple of corners. There's a really good mindset about this Spurs side. I'm sure Spurs fans are thinking, well, where does this come from? You know, why aren't we seeing this in the Premier League at the moment? But they're absolutely dominating this Hoffenheim side as well.
Just what the doctor would have ordered. They've been nicknamed Dr. Tottenham, haven't they?
In the right way this time. Doctor to their fans right now.
Very professional performance from Ange Postecoglou's injury-depleted team. Here's Richarlison, who just helps the ball back to Maddison in midfield. He was looking to release Kulusevski again. Hoffenheim win it back. It's with Jurasek, the left full-back. And I guess in some ways they've played Hoffenheim at their own game, haven't they? Because it's that high line that Postecoglou is often criticised for that they've exploited tonight.
Yes, they have. Clearly they've done their homework on Hoffenheim as well, and a couple of times they've just played the ball over the top with the pace of Richarlison or Son. Kulusevski's coming more off the right into almost being like a number 10 at times, but we know he can hug the touchline in that way. But you know, for the German side, they need to find a way to get back into it. They first of all need to find a way to test Brandon Austin, because they haven't done that yet.
Jurasek cuts the cross back into the penalty area. Kramaric into the box. Volleyed effort coming in there from Bischoff. It's well blocked by young Archie Gray, playing at left back tonight, the former Leeds man. Now the ball is safely at the feet of Pedro Porro in the right full-back position for Spurs. Here he is again, Porro. Chips it down the line, looking for Richarlison. Kulusevski brings it forward. A little bit of ball juggling for Richarlison, almost gets him away, but there was Finn Becker to help it back to his goalkeeper, Baumann. 25 minutes gone, Hoffenheim 0, Tottenham 2 on Talksport 2. Goals early on from James Maddison and then from Son, seemingly putting Tottenham in control of this game and very much in control of their destiny in terms of a place in the round of 16 ahead of that home game against Elfsborg at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium next week. Hoffenheim looking for a route back into the game with Bischoff. His cross is blocked behind by Dragusin, what I think is the first corner of the evening.
Yeah, do you know what? From this particular game point of view, it'd be nice to see Richarlison get on the score sheet. But the bigger picture is, of course, that they get into that top 8, don't have to worry about the playoffs. They don't have those 2 extra games that can come up, and they have a little bit more rest or maybe even time on the training pitch. Concentrate on the other 2 cup competitions they're involved in, knowing that they are in the round of 16.
26 minutes played, corner for Hoffenheim. Bischoff to deliver, left-footed, good header away by Bentancur, but then the shot fired in from the edge of the box. There's a chance here inside the area. Morstead with the tame effort into the arms of Austin, and I think he's complaining, Max Morstead, that he was being held by Archie Gray. It came from a deflected shot. Not sure there was enough contact there for the penalty.
No, Archie Gray does really well, actually. Does just enough to get the physical contact. His kind of arms around and his leg in there without actually making a proper foul, and just puts Morstead off, which really are, if Hoffenheim are to come back into the game, you know, he's in front of goal, he's 7 or 8 yards out. His first touch wasn't bad, but he's got to find a way to put it past Brandon Austin.
18 minutes the first half to play. You're listening to Talksport 2. Hoffenheim 0, Spurs 2. Here's Morstead again. Rolls the ball into Bischoff. He gets a shot away left-footed that may have taken a deflection. And for a moment, Brandon Austin scrambling down to his left. The ball ends up wide. It will be a corner. And that deflection made it a little bit awkward for Tottenham's standing goalkeeper. I think it just struck Pedro Porro on the way through. Did he have it covered, Scott?
Yeah, I think so. I think the fact when someone shooting that far out and to the angle that he did, Bischoff, who's clearly a very talented player, is going to be joined in Bayern Munich, but no top keeper should be beaten from there. I'm pretty sure Austin did have it covered. Second
Hoffenheim corner in relatively quick succession. Bischoff stands over the ball again, right hand side this time, so it's going to be an outswinging delivery. Headed clear by Bentancur, and Son will look to release Kulusevski, and he's done so. Kulusevski comes motoring into the Hoffenheim half, looks up, waits for a little bit of support, gets it with Maddison, and that was a really important challenge from Becker, sliding in just to force Maddison away from goal at the end of another brilliant, blistering Spurs counter.
The thing is, the way Spurs are playing at the moment, they're good with the ball in terms of just little passes, but they look so dangerous on the counter as well. But that was a Hoffenheim corner that was suddenly almost developed into a fantastic opportunity at goal for James Maddison. Sliding tackle in the end. They're cutting them open all the time at the moment.
Gray with a cross from the left-hand side for Tottenham. Volleyed away by Bischoff. Swept high into the skyline here in Germany. And kept in play by Archie Gray on the far side. Here's Maddison. Flanked by Adam Plogic, so they go back into their own half with Dragusin. 29 gone. Hoffenheim 0, Spurs 2.
I'm just waiting for Archie Gray to either play in goal or up front soon. About the only positions he hasn't played, surely.
Incredible number of appearances as well since his £40 million move from Leeds. His granddad Frank was a European Cup winner with Nottingham Forest.
He's already a quality player, Cookie, and he's learning all the time. It's slightly unfair, and I know that Ange wouldn't want him to be putting in these positions, but all across the back four, left back, right back, centre back, he's predominantly a midfielder. He's your versatility man, but he's only 18 years of age, and he's made a big move, to not just to Tottenham Hotspur in the Premier League, but to London as well. And he's acting as if he's not 18, he's 28. Obviously tough game last week, of course, but again, you can see the character and resilience that he's got, that he'll just use that as fuel and experience, and I'm telling you now, in 3 or 4 years' time, he's going to be one of the top midfielders in the Premier League.
And it's been a learning curve for a lot of these young Tottenham players. And Postecoglou, the embattled Spurs boss, will be absolutely delighted with the way this first half an hour has gone. Goals from Maddison and from Son, for those of you just joining us, putting Tottenham in control of this game. Spurs coming forward down the left with Maddison again. The ball helped back to Baumann by Toguma, and played long to the halfway line. Davis into Rodrigo Bentancur. Dragusin passing the ball around with a fair degree of confidence. They go back to their goalkeeper Austin, still untroubled, and only his second senior start. Bentancur muscles Bischoff and then fizzes the ball back to Davis, who finds Son on halfway. Now Maddison with room to turn, and he chips it out to Pedro Porro. Cushioned pass back to Dragusin again.
This is good game management. You're 2-0 up, and we talk about that perhaps Spurs haven't had enough of that. They're keeping the ball, they're passing it, they're moving around, they're not being afraid to go back. It's not all about going forward all the time and forcing the issue. They're very much on top. It's not down to them to create chances, but they still are doing that and still playing in a positive way. But at this moment in time, a third of the way through the game, it's been, it couldn't have been much better, really.
You wonder, Hoffenheim, with their fragile confidence, just what kind of recovery powers they've got. Failed to score in 5 of their last 10 European games. Their only win this season in the Europa League was a 2-0 victory over Dynamo Kyiv. They conceded 2 early goals here. Difficult to see how the home team can get back in the game. Their fans are still an excellent voice with 13 minutes the first half to play. It's Hoffenheim in possession, but not really in the area where they can hurt Tottenham. Everybody in white back inside their own half. Stanley and Socki, the Frenchman, plays a good ball out to the right. Patted down inside the penalty area, half cleared by Davis. Here's Finn Becker now just on the edge of the box, and an opportunity maybe to get a cross in. Davis with a header away again, but picked up by Bischoff, and that's a brilliant save down to his right by the goalkeeper Austin. Wasn't the most powerful effort from Bischoff, but it came through a crowded box, and that made it awkward for Austin. He just about managed to claw it away before gathering at the second time of asking.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It wasn't the most powerful because it was on his right foot, Bischoff, but it went through the legs of one of the Spurs defenders, and Brandon Austin had to get down very quickly to make that save. And what impressed me just as much as well is he got up really quickly and then got on the ball. So I think it was Pedro Porro didn't have to worry about whether he needs to clear it just first time. That's the sign of a very good keeper, that you haven't had much to do. He had to stretch for that, he really did, and then he got up very quickly indeed, and it was Dragiston in the end who realised they didn't have to make the clearance. His keepers got up and made the save. And do you know what, as much as Brandon Austin would be delighted with the way his team are playing at the moment, I also think he'd be quite happy that he's had to make a save. It was a good one.
11 minutes of the first half to play. Hoffenheim 0, Tottenham 2. Collected neatly by Bergvall, left corner of the penalty area. Gets it back from Son, the young Swede. Now Benton Kerr. Back out to Gray on that left touchline again. Son staying wide and then coming infield on his right foot. He's got Bergvall in space on the edge of the area. Switches it out to this right-hand side, and Pedro Porro, him and Kulusevski link up well. Here is Kulusevski, down by the right corner flag. Hoffenheim have got plenty of blue shirts back behind the ball, but Tottenham doing their best to stretch the play in this attack. Ben Davis well forward, again out to the left, and Son, the skipper. He's going to cross right-footed towards Bergvall, nodded away by Akpaguma. And this is where Hoffenheim will maybe try and counter. 2-0 down with 10 minutes the half remaining on Talksport 2. Tottenham up to 4th in the Europa League table as it stands, ahead of the 8 o'clock kickoffs that include Manchester United against Rangers. We've got team news from there in the not too distant future. Ball played forward to Max Morstead, but he's all alone inside the Tottenham half, and he's done well actually to draw the foul from Ben Davis. Free kick for Hoffenheim and a chance Scott Minto to get bodies in the box again.
Yeah, I mean, look, Spurs have been so dominant in this first half. They just need to be careful they, don't concede before half-time. If it stays 2-0, it's almost like, we know that Christian Ilsen might have to make some changes or give an incredible, inspiring speech, because the players would go in and say, we're up against a team that's so much better than us. But if it goes to 2-1, and they know they're just one moment away from getting something out of this game, if it goes to 2-1, 2-2, then anything can happen. So just important these next 10 minutes that Spurs defend well.
Not a team who keep too many clean sheets, are they, Tottenham? So moments like this will give their travelling supporters a little bit of anxiety. Ball to be played in by Kaderabek. In fact, he steps over it. Bischoff with the delivery, and it's nodded behind by Bergvall for a Hoffenheim corner, though the flag is up. It's going to be a free kick for Spurs at stage 2-0 to the visitors.
Got to be honest, they are a poor side, aren't they? They haven't really looked as if they've got a lot, and yet they have got good players. Morstead, we know, is a promising youngster. Kramaric, we know of how good he can be, or certainly how good he's been in the past for club and country. Even Bischoff, we know, is a massive star of the future, and Bayern Munich has snapped him up for next season, but they do look a poor collective side, and I think, again, that's credit to Spurs, because they've made them look really, really poor. 2-0 doesn't flatter them.
Well, we got the team sheet, didn't we? We knew that they were struggling with only 10 fit senior outfield players, but it looked like the 11 would be strong enough. So it's proved, although they've got defending to do here, because there were 2 Hoffenheim players against Pedro Porro, the last Tottenham defender. And to his credit, Porro has managed to steal the ball away from Anton Stach and smuggle it behind for a corner, but he was left isolated there. Pedro Porro.
Dare I say, that's a holding midfielder finding himself in the box. Pedro Porro, that is brilliant full-back play, because he realised there's a free man in the middle. I've got to leave my man behind me and actually go to where the danger is at that particular moment. Once Thatch took that first touch, Pedro Porro was able to kick the ball away. It would have been a 2-on-1 situation.
In comes the corner, and it's helped on at the near post by Nsocki. Goes behind off Tottenham defender for another Hoffenheim corner. They're dominating on that count. It's their 4th or 5th corner in the opening 38 minutes, but they're 2-0 down. Goals from Maddison and from Son for Tottenham. They will be determined to get to half-time with a clean sheet intact. Spurs, not to give the home crowd any kind of encouragement heading into the second half. Bischoff to deliver, left-footed from the right-hand side. Austin comes and didn't really get there. It's Richarlison who nods it clear. Kulusevski is dispossessed on the edge of the area. They've still not got it away yet. Back to Bischoff inside the box now. He's taking on Archie Gray. Good challenge by Gray on the slide. Had to time that well. It's going to be another Hoffenheim corner. A bit of pressure building, Scott.
Yeah, it is. It's a great tackle from Archie Gray. Really is. There's Bischoff on his left foot. You can see he wants to come inside, but wonderful timing.
In comes the corner, straight into the arms of Austin this time. Disappointing by Bischoff, and Austin's bowled it, Peter Schmeichel style, over the halfway line. Look at the release of Kulusevski. And it was important from a Hoffenheim perspective that Jurasek got there and helped it back to his goalkeeper. They've had 10 goal attempts, Hoffenheim.
That would have been some assist to Austin, wouldn't it?
Brilliant. He threw that further than some goalkeepers can kick it. Here's Andre Kramaric in the left wing position for Hoffenheim, trying to get the cross in up against Pedro Porro. In the end, Ushers opts to play it back to Jurasek. He does deliver, nodded away by Bentancur and picked up by Richarlison. He started a lot of the Tottenham attacks, actually. Richarlison's had a good opening 39 minutes. He's not played much football this season.
Yeah, he's done well with Richarlison, hasn't he? He's worked hard, he's tried to run the channels, he's dropped off and plays in when he's needed to. Just deserves that goal.
Maybe an opportunity for Hoffenheim to get a shot away on the edge of the area. Morstead keeps it alive. They're claiming a high foot there. Tottenham, Dragerson pointing to his head as the shot came in. It's a soft effort into the arms of Austin.
It's not a high foot. Dragerson's put his head down. You can't not go for that with your foot if you're a striker there. But again, it's the collective defending from Spurs. 2 Spurs players made the deflection, and Dragerson puts his head in there, and then Archie Gray comes across as well and makes sure that by the time the ball gets to Brandon Austin, he's able to just quite easily dive onto it. It's really good defending. Something we're not seeing enough of, and we do have to be aware that maybe this is down to the opposition, but I couldn't be more impressed with how Spurs have played in this first half.
Hoffenheim coming forward down the right with Kaderabek. He little layoff back into midfield, and the ball is picked up by Akpoguma. Hoffenheim looking to get a goal back before half-time. Finn Becker out to the right, Akpoguma again. Archie Gray steps in, brings the ball from Kaderabek and concedes to throw level with his own penalty area. 4.5 minutes the first half to play. Tottenham leading 2-0. Kaderabek just wiping the ball on his blue jersey, and he's going to launch this one into the penalty area. Kramaric has come out to the edge of the box. It's easily dealt with by Bentancur, and now Son looking to release Richarlison on the counter. Richarlison knew the challenge was coming from Nsocki. I think tried to win a free kick, but in the end just pokes the ball out for a throw. And now Baumann, the Hoffenheim goalkeeper, midway inside his own half, plays it forward towards Kramaric. Kramaric dropping very deep. They're playing a lovely diagonal out to the right-hand side. Kaderabek had stayed forward, tries to find Morstead on the edge of the box. Again, Bentancur steps in imperiously and clears. Richarlison holding it up and volleying the pass out the right-hand side, and Dejan Kulusevski. Hoffenheim 0, Tottenham 2. And this is Rodrigo Bentancur inside the centre circle, back to Bergvall. 3.5 minutes for Tottenham to see it through till half-time. Excellent night away from home in Europe for Ange Postecoglou so far. Just 1 win in their last 10 in the Premier League. This would be a much-needed 3 points. Given away by Kulusevski, but immediately won back by Pedro Porro. Here now is the Romanian international Dragusin. Forward to Maddison, whose goal after a little over 3 minutes set the ball rolling as far as Spurs are concerned. Son doubling that tally. They've had a bit of defending to do since then. Brandon Austin still yet to be seriously troubled by that effort through a crowded area that he had to claw away. Kulusevski holds the ball up on halfway and then plays it back into his own half, and Radu Dragusin. Home fans are still offering plenty of vocal encouragement, Scott.
Yeah, they are. They haven't really been given much, I've got to be honest, in the first half. In the first 20, they hardly saw the ball, and most of the time it was in their own half, and it was Spurs creating chances. At least they've tried to get forward a little bit more, but Spurs have defended well.
Good play there between Bergvall and Kulusevski. Now Richarlison on the edge of the area. He was just looking for the run of Maddison there. Frustrated James Maddison that the pass didn't find his intended target. Bergvall skips over a challenge on the edge of the box into Gray. Now Son forward to Bergvall again. He's going to try and cut this back for Maddison. Well defended by Becker deep inside his own half of the field, and Son now with a chance to build again in the last couple of minutes of the first half. Spurs leading 2-0. Here's Gray down by the left corner flag. Bergvall gives it back to his captain Son, and Gray has stayed forward from left back. Madison, as he clipped from behind by Akpaguma. Referee had a good view and says yes, so it will be a free kick.
It's a ridiculous foul. It's a ridiculous foul. You're already on a yellow card. Spurs are on the ball. Madison's going away from goal, and now you've just given away a free kick just before half-time, which is, okay, it's wide enough for not to be able to shoot, but certainly a decent cross puts the defence under pressure. If Spurs were to get a third goal now, this is game over.
Maddison and Son stood over the ball into the last minute of the regulation 45. Hoffenheim 0, Tottenham 2 in the Europa League. Looks like it will be James Maddison to whip this in right-footed from the left. Bergvall and Dragusin furthest men forward for Tottenham. That's a great ball in for Bergvall! And he's headed down and clawed away by the goalkeeper Baumann. Should really be 3-0. It's a wonderful delivery. Back to Maddison again. Maddison into the penalty area, pulls it back for Davis, deflected and wide. It's going to be a Tottenham corner right at the end of the first half.
Wow, what an opportunity. What an opportunity. He's absolutely free, and it's one of those where he's trying to just get a little flick of the side of his head, but he doesn't get a touch at all, and it comes off his shoulder. It gives the keeper reaction time. It's a great ball in for Maddison. Oh, just a little flick to the far post, and there's no way the Baumann would have saved that.
Into one added minute at the end of the first half. Son with a corner. Tottenham hunting their third. Son too close to the goalkeeper Baumann, who just plucks it from the air and might get the opportunity to launch it forward quickly and set Hoffenheim on one final attack in this first half. Picked up by Bischoff in the right wing position. Looks to play it forward, but it's intercepted by Davis, and then Kulusevski beaten to the ball on halfway by Jurasek.
Just one thing on that corner. Son puts his arm up. All the players run to the near post, and he plays it to the far post.
Maybe a case
they know
of
what it means.
Miscommunication. Here come Hoffenheim. 3 players lurking on the edge of the penalty area as Kramaric plays it forward to Kaderabek. Cuts it back inside the box. Oh, big opportunity here. The shot was a weak one from Becker. It clips off the heels of Dragusin and then taken from the air by Austin. That was a great opportunity. He was totally unmarked, Finn Becker, and he just didn't strike it cleanly enough.
Oh my goodness, what an opportunity. Just what Spurs wouldn't have wanted. Pretty much the last kick before half-time. He's pretty much on the penalty spot. There's no one around him. Yes, there's defenders there, and they ended up getting a block on it, but a better connection would have given them and the keeper no chance whatsoever.
Just a warning sign, though, for Tottenham that even with this 2-goal advantage, a Hoffenheim goal would change the course of proceedings. They got off to a perfect start, Tottenham, despite all their injury absentees. 1-0 up. Inside 3 minutes, James Maddison lashing the ball into the roof of the net after Pedro Porro's 50-yard pass and released the England man. Son doubled that lead on 22 minutes via a deflection. The ball nestling into the bottom corner. Brandon Austin only really had one save to make, clawing away the effort from Tom Bischoff. And I think even after that late flurry, Scott Minto, Ange Postecoglou largely delighted with what we've seen.
Oh look, he should be absolutely delighted with the scoreline and the performance. Just in the last few minutes, Hoffenheim, what you'd expect, being at home, coming forward a little bit more. I didn't like the fact that he was that free there, Becker, and had the ability and really should have scored and made it 2-1. But apart from that, pretty much Spurs have dominated with and without the ball. Bentancur looks good in front of that back four. Going forward, James Maddison, excellent. But Richarlison is holding the line and running the line really well. Son looks dangerous coming off the wing, so too Kulusevski. I don't think really Ange Postecoglou could have wished for anything better. 2-0, half-time, away from home. It's been brilliant.
Yeah, 52% possession, 4 attempts on target, 7 in total for Tottenham. And those 2 that have found the back of the net from Maddison and from Son seemingly have put the North Londoners in control over in Germany. Half-time, it is Hoffenheim 0, Tottenham 2.
Europa League live on Talksport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever the mission, home or away, Enterprise helps over 120,000 people every day.
It's back! The UK's biggest used car sale. The Arnold Clark Real Sale is now on, with over 20,000 used cars, all reduced right now. Find yourself a bargain in Arnold Clark's Real Sale. It only happens once a year, and it's on right now. Visit arnoldclark.com to see why it's the biggest car sale in the UK.
At William Hill Vegas, we're bursting with entertainment. Introducing V-Play, where revealing rewards couldn't be easier. Play your usual slots and table games featuring the V-Play icon. And when the V-Play bar's full, you're ready to spin the wheel for cash prizes. V-Play, only at William Hill Vegas. Bursting with entertainment. For GBP online accounts, use cash balance to play. Chance to spin and win prizes from 30p to £1,000 randomly awarded. Spin and claim within 7 days. T&Cs apply. 18 plus. Gamble aware.
Darren could get an offer from a random car dealer. Or sell direct to We Buy Any Car. The dealer could come to his home, kick his tyres, then decide not to buy it. Or he could get a guaranteed sale, leaving more time to take his other half on a romantic getaway. Oh no. Or ooh la la. To get a quote in 30 seconds, enter your reg number now at WeBuyAnyCar.com.
The massive games.
And he scored!
From the superstar names.
The legend that is Danny Dyer.
Connected with the voices of the fans.
They're the best team in the world.
Drive on Talksport with 3. Listen to Andy Goldstein and Darren Bent every Friday from 4 as they showcase a hat-trick of essential weekend fixtures, connecting you to 3 of the biggest matches from across the national leagues. The Big Football Network on Talksport with 3. Football needs a big network. Keep connected to the team you love on 3.
Talksport 2.
Traffic and travel.
In Kent, the M25 is partly blocked clockwise after a collision on the exit to the M20 at junction 3. In Berkshire, the M4 is queuing westbound after a collision. It's between junction 7 for Slough West and junction 8 for Maidenhead in the A404M. And in Somerset, delays on the M5 northbound after a breakdown, and that's just by the exit slip to Taunton and the A358 at junction 25. I'm Adam Moore.
The Monday Club on Talksport 2.
A broadcasting juggernaut of sport.
They were in big trouble at half-time.
Professional analysis.
He gets away with these tactical fouls.
Oh, he's the master of dark arts.
And refreshingly frank opinion after all the action.
I don't know if they're as open as they were and as aggressive as they were.
The Monday Club. The sharpest minds in the business.
Elite level mentality.
Monday afternoon from 5.
On Talksport 2.
Fight Night Extra on Talksport 2. Tuesday evening from 5.
Get weighed in for a massive night of big boxing drama.
I'm just ready to go to war.
Explosive insight and heavyweight boxing banter.
I'm a generation fighter. I actually feel sorry for all these guys who's had to fight me.
Hard-hitting boxing discussion that jabs you between the ears.
Fantastic boxer. But this is a big step up in weight class. Really big step up.
Get in the ring and go the distance.
She's got movements that look like Mayweather at times.
Fight Night Extra. Tuesday evening from 5.
On Talksport 2, the home of boxing.
It's the reason Marconi invented radio and God gave you ears.
And he scored! It's a brilliant goal!
The Europa League live on Talksport 2.
So what can Tottenham do to restore a little bit of English pride this evening? It's a lovely ball over the top from Pedro Porro and brought down inside the penalty area by Maddison, and he rifles the ball into the roof of the Hoffenheim net. It's a perfect start for this patched up Tottenham team.
That will give him a lot of confidence, as well as the rest of the team and Ange Postecoglou himself as well.
Spurs coming forward with Maddison. Son's onside. He's into the penalty area. He gets a shot away. It deflects and it nestles into the bottom corner. And Tottenham do double their lead. And it's the captain Son with his 9th goal of the season.
Yes, you can say it's a lucky goal, but I think Spurs deserve to be 2-0 ahead after 20 minutes. They've dominated that much.
Bergvall and Dragic furthest men forward for Tottenham. That's a great ball in for Bergvall. And he's headed down and clawed away by the goalkeeper Baumann. Should really be 3-0. Yeah, brilliant first half for Tottenham over in Germany. Goals from Maddison and from Son for Ange Postecoglou's side. In control as it stands up to 4th place in the Europa League tonight. Over on Talksport, we've got more Europa League action coming your way from 8 o'clock this evening. Manchester United face Rangers in a huge game for the Red Devils. It's been an interesting week for the United boss Ruben Amorim after Sunday's defeat to Brighton. He referred to his side as one of the worst United teams ever. And ahead of that game tonight, he addressed the comment.
First of all, I want to talk about that. I was talking more for myself than from my players, because I was talking that, and you have to find out a coach that starts a job and lose 8 games, I think, 7 games in the first 10. So it's more for me. I was talking more about me than the players. I also talk in the same response about I was not helping my players. And if you look around, every time I speak, and I speak a lot, every time you push about the players are not good enough, I never put the spot on my players. So I understand. I gave you that headline, and I'm frustrated sometimes. And sometimes I should not say that in that terms, but it is what it is, and that's it. Sometimes it's really hard to hide the frustration in some moments. But the good thing is that I said the same things in a different way in the dressing room 5 minutes before. So the response was quite normal, because I'm really blunt with my players. And they train well, they are ready for this game, and let's see tomorrow.
Ruben Amorim there looking ahead to Manchester United's Battle of Britain against Rangers over on Talksport. 8 o'clock kickoff at the Theatre of Dreams. Well, Theatre of Nightmares, really. Interesting. A bit of a climb down, Scott Minto from the United manager, after those very strongly worded comments of the weekend that I've got to say most Manchester United fans agreed with.
Yeah, I don't know if he's had someone's had a word of him from above to say, look, we don't want you to say those type of things. I listened to White and Jordan today, and I totally agree with what Simon was saying. Yes, he went hard, but stick with it. Otherwise, you end up looking weak. I like Ruben Amorim. I know what he's done over at Sporting in Portugal. I've spoken to a lot of Portuguese people, journalists as well. They see him as one of the top young coaches in the world. But go with your gut instinct and stick with it as well. And even if you have gone a little bit too strong, don't back down, because it can make you look weak. And as you say, I think he's got the backing of pretty much all of the Manchester United fans, because they're fed up with it all, aren't they, what's happened over the last decade or so.
Yeah, absolutely. Interesting to see what kind of reaction Ruben Amorim gets out of those Manchester United players. We'll have team news from Old Trafford very shortly. Following us here on Talksport 2, meanwhile, we're off to the racecourse ground as Wrexham and Birmingham go head-to-head in what's been dubbed the Hollywood Derby. Kick-off also at 8 o'clock in what may prove to be a crucial night in the League One title race. Let's get across to our commentary team and look ahead to the action as the former England defender Mickey Gray is alongside your commentator for the evening, John Dunn.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. Hollywood billing for this one with the big spending American owners involved for both sides. Deadpool versus Tom Brady, if you will. It's been billed as the most watched League One game ever, or third tier game. Ultimately, Mickey Gray, this is top versus third. It's a cracking League One game. And in terms of the football, it's two teams that want to be promoted into the Championship, and this has got the makings of an absolute cracker this evening.
Well, that's certainly the main aim for these two sides, isn't it, to jump straight back into the Championship if they get the opportunity. But, I mean, you can't believe the hype, really. I mean, you can't big it up this game enough of how important it is. I mean, the atmosphere we know is going to be absolutely electric in this stadium, as it always is. But I think when Birmingham City come to town, you know, the favourites to get promoted out of this division, I think it just gives it that little bit more spice, that added spice. And who doesn't want to beat the side of the top of the table? So it's going to be fiery tonight. It's going to be full of incident. It's going to be electric. And I just can't wait for this game to get going.
It is going to be a cracking atmosphere. Birmingham then top, best away record in League One. Wrexham third, but have 2 games in hand on Birmingham. They've got the best home record across all 4 leagues. Birmingham best defensive record. We'll say we're expecting a cracker. Based on that, do you expect maybe a tight affair, maybe one goal will sneak it, or are you expecting 2 teams to give it a real go here?
I think you've got 2 sides who've got too much quality in forward positions not to sit back and try and keep clean sheets, albeit these 2 sides have done that pretty well this season. But I think you look at Wrexham's home record, absolutely outstanding. I mean, this place is that 12th man. You know, we just look to our left-hand side. You know, they've had to make more seats because of the demand at this football stadium, and you can understand why, the journey they're on. And I think you can also look at the Birmingham City in the same bracket, to be honest with you now. You know, the American owners and Tom Brady coming in. I think everybody's looking at Birmingham. What can they do? They've went out in the summer. They've spent a lot of money, and the return that they've had from their forward players this season has been absolutely outstanding. So I think you've got 2 sides who will really, really go for it this evening, and that's why I just think that this game is going to be so exciting tonight.
In terms of key men, in terms of goal, Jay Stansfield mentioning big money. He was a big money signing for League One in the summer for Birmingham. 12 in 18 in the league this season. Feels like he is the man to watch if we are to see some goals this evening.
Yeah, him and Alfie May as well, 2 quality players. I've been told to watch, as a former left-back as well, I've been told to watch Cochrane. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how good they are down that left-hand side as well. But they're a real deal, Birmingham. They're a fantastic outfit. They play some really stylish football. And in the final third, they just spring to life. And you can see from the forward players the goals that they get. So they will cause this Wrexham defence a lot of problems tonight. But as I said, Wrexham have got real quality themselves. Stephen Fletcher, a lot of experience up front as well. If he starts the game tonight, scored at the weekend, so they've got big players, both sides.
Freezing temperatures here, but it is going to be red hot in terms of the atmosphere. Kick-off 8 o'clock here at the racecourse ground for Wrexham and Birmingham City.
Yeah, looking forward to that big game in League One. Don't forget, Talksport 2 is your home of the EFL Friday night. Sheffield United going great guns at the top of the Championship. They take on Hull in a Yorkshire derby on Saturday. Live on Talksport, we've got Premier League commentary for you. Liverpool against Ipswich. That's the 3 o'clock kickoff on Sunday night. A bit of a bonus for you. Fulham take on Manchester United. That gets underway at 7 o'clock. Alan Pardew, the former West Ham manager, amongst your commentary team. Of course, live over on Talksport tonight, it's an 8 o'clock kickoff. It is Manchester United against Rangers, England against Scotland in the Europa League, and well, both teams under big pressure. Rangers miles adrift of Celtic in terms of the SPL title, and Manchester United languishing in the bottom half of the Premier League. As are Spurs, they are 2-0 up here against Hoffenheim in Germany. James Maddison with the early goal, and then Son doubling that lead midway through the first half. The Tottenham players just re-emerging for the second 45. What will the message have been, Scott Minto, from Ange Postecoglou?
Oh, it would have been a simple one. Same again, please. I think from the very off of that first half, they were dominating very much on the front foot. created chances, got the early goal, could have made it 2 a lot earlier. I think they're just making sure that they, towards the end of that first half, I wouldn't say they were sort of lost in concentration, but certainly Hoffenheim sort of stepped it up a little bit and had that wonderful chance with almost the last kick of the first half. You know, again, it's a bit of a cliche, but it's a cliche for a reason. The next goal is crucial. Spurs get it, it's game over, and maybe they can bring on some youngsters. If Hoffenheim get it, then it's very much game on.
Hoffenheim, all in blue, get us underway in this second half. They are shooting from left to right. Tottenham all in white. And straight away have won a free kick for a Hoffenheim offside. No change in personnel for Spurs. Brandon Austin, the goalkeeper, Porro, Dragusin, Davis and Gray in front of him. Bergvall, Bentancur and Maddison, the opening goal scorer in midfield. Then Kulusevski, Richarlison and Son, who got the second, wearing the captain's armband up front. Interesting team news is coming in from Old Trafford. We'll get that for you very shortly as Bergvall switches the play out to Archie Gray on the left-hand side. Gray, who's operated right across the back four, even though he was signed as a midfielder from Leeds in the summer. Altay Bayandur, FA Cup hero, keeps goal for Manchester United tonight after a couple of high-profile errors by Anana in the weekend defeat against Brighton. The defence in front of him, De Ligt, Martinez and Yoro. Dalot as one wing back, looks like Amad Diallo the other, Eriksson and Fernandes in midfield. Garnacho starts for Manchester United, despite the fact that Chelsea are lining up an offer, we hear, for him. Toby Collier gets the nod as well, and Joshua Zirkzee is the lone striker, and that's the Manchester United 11 to take on Rangers this evening live on Talksport. Hoffenheim winning the ball on the edge of the Spurs penalty area, and the cross takes a deflection, sent spinning into the box by Morstead. Pedro Porro runs it easily away for Spurs, and it's chipped over the halfway line to Dejan Kulusevski.
Great movement from Kulusevski. He went short, then go long. He actually did Jurasek. If that ball had been played with a bit more pace, then it would have been really, not necessarily in on goal, but certainly in and behind. Then he had to just check with that, and it meant that Jurasek could come and just try and take the ball off him.
Jurasek, the fullback for Hoffenheim, has got forward to good effect at times, actually. So too Kader Abek, who's carrying the ball towards the halfway line on his right hand side. We played 2.5 minutes in the second half. It's Hoffenheim nil, Spurs 2. Here is Jurasek again. Fizzes the pass in towards Morstead. Elected by Kramaric on the edge of the area. He tried to chip it forward. It's hooked clear by Davis, and then Richarlison out muscled by Soki on halfway. We've won only 2 of their last 8 in all competitions. But have a healthy 2-0 lead in Germany. The ball is picked up inside the centre circle by Soki again for Hoffenheim.
The stats of the first half were just ridiculous. 50% in terms of possession. They had more attempts than Spurs did, and Spurs had 1 more on target, and yet Spurs dominated that first half.
Kramaric in an offside position, free kick for Tottenham inside their own penalty area. It was Morstead actually who strayed beyond the last Tottenham defender, and it was he who picked up the ball and played it forward to Kramaric.
Well played by Ben Davis, sorry Alex, well played by Ben Davis, playing that offside, but realising if the flag didn't go up, he was still able to tuck round. It's a clever play from the experienced defender.
Here's Jurasek coming forward down the left again. Playing ball neatly into the penalty area for Kramaric. Crowded out of it by a combination of Bergvall and Bentancur back doing their defensive duty, and then Bentancur looked to feed Kulusevski. Stepping in was Nsoki. Jurasek with a cross again. Swept clear this time by Dragusin. Early pressure from Hoffenheim being applied. 5 minutes into the second half. 2-0 down here against Tottenham.
Certainly the home side need to step it up and do a lot better than they did certainly at the start of the first half, but Spurs have come out and not been playing with the same intensity.
Jurasek with a cross, Dragusin away again at the near post. Spurs will know 1 goal back could change everything here. Baumann, the Hoffenheim goalkeeper, coming a long way off his line and forward to halfway, and Akpoguma. Dragusin with the clearance, but collected by Akpoguma again. Cross in from the right-hand side. Bergvall didn't really get it away. Maybe an opportunity for Becker. His shot is charged down. Kulusevski beats into the loose ball. Can't get out here. Tottenham. Morstead with a header towards Kramaric. It's well defended by Dragusin. Kramaric, I think, was offside anyway, but worrying start to the second half.
Absolutely. Got to get hold of the ball. So they play this passively, and they will create chances, Hoffenheim. Yes, again, it was another good high line on the edge of the box, and well done there, but the way that Kulusevski, say he was beaten to the ball, he didn't even try for it. If you're not going to go in and tackle, then at least stay goal side of it. And he didn't. It's a very lethargic start to the second half of Spurs.
Hoffenheim 0, Tottenham 2. Scott was alluding to there. All of the pressure at the start of the second half is being applied by Hoffenheim. Coming forward down the right is Kaderabek. Now Akpoguma. Everybody in blue is camped inside Tottenham territory. Opportunity for Bischoff down the right. Comes in on his left foot and then finds Stach. Stach again, looking for Kaderabek in space, and he gets the ball into the penalty area. The attempted cross by Bischoff is blocked away. This is Richarlison now, who can only run the ball out of play for a Hoffenheim throw. 6 minutes gone in the second half. It's been played almost exclusively since half-time in Tottenham territory. Here is Kaderabek down the right, crosses into the box, cleared away by Davis. Maddison outmanoeuvred. Hoffenheim continue to press for a goal that will get them back in the game. Here's Stack out to the right-hand side, and Kaderabek again. Now Bischoff. Bischoff rolls it forward into the penalty area. Stack goes down under the challenge of Maddison. Maddison not happy with that. Referee not interested in any half-hearted penalty at Borderlands. The ball is launched forward to Richarlison. It was well defended by Nsocki. Just look a little bit jaded, these Tottenham players. As Hoffenheim come forward again, trailing by 2-0. Kramaric on the edge of the penalty area. Out to Jurasek. Chance to cross from him, but he plays it to Becker, 20 yards from goal. Becker comes in field. Here's Nsocki well forward once more. Nsocki with the diagonal pass, fired out to the right-hand side, and an opportunity to get across in here. Instead they lay it short to the edge of the area. Bischoff on his left foot, blocked by Son, and then helped clear by Pedro Porro. Can they counter here, Tottenham? Kulusevski into Maddison. Son has continued his run. It wasn't a great ball by Maddison, and it's run back by Tom Bischoff, and Hoffenheim will build again. 2-0 to Spurs.
Look, it's difficult coming out at half-time. You're 2-0 up away from home, especially when your team has so many injuries. If you keep on going at it 100%, then maybe there's that worry in the back of your mind that you will pull a hamstring when actually you're 2-0 up. So yeah, you want to have a bit of game management, but sometimes just by sitting back or losing that bit of intensity they had in the first half gives the initiative to the home side. This is what we've seen so far in the second half.
See a bit more of Adam Plogic as well, the Czech Republic international. He got the winner over Dynamo Kyiv earlier in the season, just taking up a more advanced role as Hoffenheim have tried to be more progressive. Cross into the penalty area is nodded away by Davis. Picked up right on cue by Plogic. Then it's switched out to the right-hand side, and Kaderabek again. Deep cross from him, and an opportunity for Kramaric, and he heads it against the crossbar. I wonder if the flag may have been up anyway, but time almost seemed to stand still there as the ball was fired, and he wasn't offside. Andre Kramaric, he beat the goalkeeper, denied by the frame of the goal.
Yes, great ball in. He just got off the back of Dragusin. He's had to turn his body because he's lost him. So it's a free header, 7 yards out. It's not the easiest because he has had to climb really high and therefore get on top of it. But it was the right idea in heading it back where it came from. Austin was nowhere, didn't even move for it. But in the end, he wasn't able to keep it down, come off the crossbar. Again, if they needed it, Spurs, and they shouldn't have done, it's a massive warning to them.
Yeah, let off for Tottenham. 10 minutes into this second half, they lead by 2-0, but Hoffenheim have dominated since the interval. Here is Kevin Akpoguma coming forward, the tall central defender, plays it back into the centre circle, and Soki. And then it's picked up by the diminutive Anton Stach in midfield. Back out this right-hand side, and Kaderabek again. Tottenham have got everybody in their own final third. Bischoff trying to play it forward to Morstead. His shot blocked by Davis. It's still alive though. Stack with the effort. Left foot curler, curls it wide. Goal kick for Tottenham. It stays 2-0.
Well, he's had a couple of chances. I mean, that one wasn't as good as the one in the first half, but a couple of times Spurs defenders came out, but that one they didn't. He's on the edge of the box. Again, he's got to hit the target. This is a Hoffenheim side that's completely different and very much on top.
Well, Richarlison has only started 2 games this season. This is his first start since scoring against Azad Alkmaar in the Europa League back in October, and he has lasted a little over 10 minutes in the second half. Mikey Moore, who a lot of Tottenham fans I think were hoping and expecting would start tonight, he is on. The 17-year-old for his 11th appearance of the season.
Is he allowed out this late?
Got players younger than him on the bench. 16-year-old Malaki Hardy is amongst the Tottenham subs this evening. Remember, they've not got a single senior outfield replacement on their bench. And that's what probably will give Hoffenheim hope, and they have looked a bit lethargic, Tottenham, at the start of this second half.
Yeah, as I say, I think it's more of a mental thing than a physical thing, just because it's almost like we've done the hard work. If we're very solid defensively, then we'll go on and win this game, but it doesn't always work like that. Sometimes you have to, best form of defence is attack and keep what you're doing in the first half. I mean, look, Hoffenheim are never going to be as poor in the second as they were in the first, and Spurs are 2-0 up, but they're very much on the back foot in this second half.
Ben Davis plays the ball into Bentancur inside the centre circle. It's collected by the captain Son, and he plays it out to this left-hand side of Maddison. Moore involved straight away, and then there was a collision on the edge of the penalty area involving Son, I think it was, and Soki, who goes down. Free kick for Hoffenheim. 58 gone. Hoffenheim 0, Spurs 2. Remember, we've got Wrexham Birmingham from League One coming up after we're finished here and over on Talksport. If it takes your fancy, Manchester United against Rangers. Alejandro Garnacho in the starting lineup for United, even though we're told at Talksport Chelsea are ready to open talks over a potential move to Stamford Bridge. You can keep up to date with all the breaking transfer news on the Talksport website and by subscribing to the Talksport Transfer Notebook, the daily podcast. Available every day of the window right up until February the 3rd, but it slams shut and it just closes, does it, the transfer window. So Archie Gray nods the ball clear. It's connected by Stack just on the edge of the Tottenham penalty area. Here's Kaderabek. Logic tried to return the pass, couldn't find his man. Stack with a decent ball in, only half cleared by Pedro Porro. Chance for Becker to get a shot away, delays the shot, plays it out to Kramaric instead. Kramaric is already headed against the bar in this second half for Hoffenheim. Here's Kramaric in the left wing position with the opportunity maybe to pick out a teammate in the centre. He's quickly closed down by Dragusin, so he plays it back to Jurasek. His cross is deflected and nodded away by Maddison. Still can't get out here, Tottenham. Back with Kaderabek on the right corner of the penalty area. Kramaric's shot blocked by Porro. Kramaric still has it halfway inside the 18-yard box. Jurasek with a cross towards the near post. It goes all the way through and into the gloves of a grateful Brandon Austin.
Well, we're just coming up to, 59 minutes now. Let's call it 60. I think the only positive thing we can say about this second half so far, the first 15 minutes, is that Spurs haven't conceded. They've been, as we say, we use the word whatever you want, lethargic, been off it, been tired. As I say, I think it's a mental thing rather than a physical thing. Hoffenheim at this moment in time, very much on the front foot. If they do get the goal, I'll tell you what, it's very much game on.
Tottenham in action at home to Leicester this weekend. Leicester on a dreadful run under Ruud van Nistelrooy. Suggestions earlier today that he's not happy with the Foxes board at a lack of January signings. I think Ange Postecoglou would have hoped for one or two more arrivals by now as well. Obviously signed Antonin Kinski, the goalkeeper. They've lost Dominic Solanke, their main number 9, as Hoffenheim come forward again. Bischoff, neat footwork on the edge of the area. He chips the ball towards the far post, and Austin was scrambling. In the end it sails over his head and wide, but for a moment, Scott, I think he was worried that was going to creep into the far corner.
No, Austin didn't know at all. I mean, we're at a really good angle here, and we can see that it was on his right foot. It was always going to curl a little bit wide, but only just. Brandon Austin didn't know that for sure. He had him scrambling.
Hoffenheim continue to look dangerous. They trail by 2-0. Morstead chests it down inside the box. They wanted a free kick there, Hoffenheim, not given. It's chipped forward by Benton Kerr. Son, all of a sudden, looks like he's running on empty, the captain, and Hoffenheim have it back with Kaderabek on the right-hand side. If Hoffenheim get one back here, I think Tottenham could be in trouble.
Well, I agree. And it's, I wonder whether Richarlison were told, look, give us 50, 60 minutes, do your best. Son's got into the middle, Mikey Moore's on the left, but as I say, Spurs haven't really put 3 or 4 passes together. It's one thing to not play quite with the intensity, trying to create opportunities. Another thing, you can still be in control of the situation. They haven't been.
Right, control here as the cross comes into the penalty area, looking for Morstead, but too close to Austin, the goalkeeper. He bowls it out quickly to Maddison, and Maddison will drive over the halfway line. He's looking for Son in the centre, intercepted by Jurasek, who got back there, and now Kramaric picks it up midway inside Spurs territory. 2-0 Tottenham lead. They've had to soak up a lot of Hoffenheim pressure since half-time.
Yeah, and when I say control, you don't always have to have 50% plus possession. You can be very, strong defensively, but you can also pass the ball and play at your pace. They haven't done it at all in the second half.
Here's Akpoguma, crosses into the penalty. There was a coming together between Brandon Austin and Max Morstead, and the referee has given Hoffenheim a penalty. I think he came to punch the cross, Austin, and he's ended up cleaning out Max Morstead. He's got a yellow card for his troubles, and Hoffenheim have a penalty here to potentially get themselves back in the game.
Well, first of all, we've got to say it's coming. Spurs haven't been good enough defensively, and the way that Hoffenheim are running off the ball, I think that's really harsh. I mean, Brandon Austin has to go for it. He's come out. I'd like to see whether he actually got a touch or not on it. If he did get a touch on it first, and then Morstead's the one who's coming into Brandon Austin with more speed.
I think that's the point that Brandon Austin is trying to make to the referee. VAR will be checking this.
I'd like to see a few more replays of it, and I'm sure that's what VAR are looking at the moment. But my gut instinct on it, without seeing more replays, is that actually Morstead, and rightly so, he's coming at pace, is what you want your striker to do. But Brandon Austin has only moved maybe a yard, and I think he's almost come off his hand onto Morstead's head, and then it's gone over. And it looks like because he's gone up and over, and because he's not the stronger of the two, that it's made it look a lot worse.
I'm not convinced at all that will be given in the Premier League. Austin's facial expression as he saw the referee point to the spot says it all, but the check is over.
Yeah, we're not going to give it as a clear and obvious error.
The on-field decision stands, and Brandon Austin, making only his second senior Tottenham appearance, is going to try and atone for the mistake. It will be Andre Kramaric, the former Leicester man, Hoffenheim's all-time leading goal scorer, very much a fan's favourite here to take the penalty. In fact, the referee is now going over to the TV screen. Incredible. It looked like the check was over, the ball was on the spot, Kramaric about to take it, and then the referee races over to the monitor, and maybe there will be a reprieve.
Do you know what? I wonder whether VAR said right at the last minute, hold on a second, Brandon Austin may well have got that first touch, and if he does, then he's almost tipped it onto Morstead. I don't see what the keeper can do. He's got to go for it. I think he's got the first touch.
Yeah, I agree.
And VAR have seen it late. Cookie, you're right. They've put the ball down. We're all waiting for that whistle to blow. And suddenly he's been called at the last minute to go and have a look.
Well, the referee has seen it. couple of replays now. It's been slowed down, but looks pretty clear to me that Brandon Austin with his right arm clears the ball, claws the ball away before there's any contact with Morstead. If anything, it's the striker who barges into Austin.
It's almost millisecond stuff, so he's got to be really slow, but if you look at the way the ball is spinning, there is a slight difference to spin once it looks like that Brandon Austin may well have got a touch on it.
Well, this feels like a massive moment in the game. The referee is coming back onto the pitch. He makes the television symbol and he says no penalty. And the Tottenham fans celebrate. And he's also going to rescind the yellow card that was given to Brandon Austin. And Austin gives him the thumbs up. And I think Tottenham will feel, and you feel, Scott, that maybe justice has been done there.
I think so. And I think I can understand why the referee gave it, even though I didn't agree with it. And in the end, we came to the right conclusion. But my goodness, VAR. They've looked at it, as you said, the ball's on the spot, just waiting for the whistle, and suddenly, just before, it's like, now hold on a second, he may well have got the touch.
Well, how much does that dampen the home side's enthusiasm after they've dominated this second half?
Big moment, Crookie, big moment in this tie, for sure.
66 minutes gone, Hoffenheim 0, Spurs 2. Just a late reaction from the referee. Just as the penalty was about to be taken, all of a sudden he said, hold on a minute, I will have a look at this after all. Cross into the Spurs penalty area is cleared and picked up by Pedro Porro in the right back position. He back heels it to Kulusevski, plays it against Finn Becker and out for a throw. Let's get back to the racecourse ground because John Dunn has the team news.
And 3 changes for Wrexham, beaten at the weekend at Shrewsbury. Dan Scarr, George Dobson and Ollie Palmer in for Owen O'Connell, Andy Cannon and Stephen Fletcher. 1 alteration for Birmingham, a win at home to Exeter at the weekend. Lyndon Dykes is in for Luke Harris. 8 o'clock kickoff at the racecourse ground.
Yeah, live commentary to come. Mickey Gray alongside John Dunn after we're finished here over on Talksport. Remember, we've got live commentary from Old Trafford, Manchester United against Rangers. United have never lost to Rangers in a competitive game. Will that continue?
Don't say that, Cookie.
Could be anything.
You
honestly.
know that could happen.
Could be absolutely anything there tonight. Tottenham leading here in Germany by 2 goals to nil, as they were at half-time, but it's been a awkward first half of the second half as far as the visitors are concerned. Kulusevski winning the ball on the edge of the Hoffenheim penalty area. Did well there, the Swede. Plays it back to Pedro Porro. Of course, as Hoffenheim get more desperate for a goal, Tottenham might be able to hit them on the counter. Here's Son trying to get it back for Maddison inside the area. It's cleared. And Hoffenheim now will break with Kramaric, who thought a few moments ago he was going to have the chance from the penalty spot to make it 2-1. Kramaric on the edge of the area, spotted the underlapping run of Jurasek. Good ball into the box, and it's been turned in at the near post. And they are back in the game. Hoffenheim, really clever play by Kramaric, releasing Jurasek, and it's been guided in at the near post. I think by Tom Bischoff, who made the burst from midfield. Stack, in fact, it is. And Hoffenheim do get the goal they deserve, and it all started when a Tottenham attack broke down at one end. They rapidly went up the other. Kramaric had eyes in the back of his head to spot the run of Jurasek. It's a pinpoint delivery, and it's just guided in from around about 6 yards out by Stack to make it Hoffenheim 1, Tottenham 2. Game on.
Well, it's amazing, isn't it? I was just about to say that might be the kick up the backside. What happened with the non-penalty for Spurs? They go down one end. It wasn't the best of balls from Son. I wonder whether it's come off Archie Gray. He's got the last touch.
Such a teasing delivery, wasn't it, with the ball in from Jurasek, who's had an excellent game down that left-hand side. Well, UEFA have given it to Anton Stack. Either way, be it an own goal or be it a Stack goal, Tottenham have got a difficult final quarter of this game to navigate now, Scott.
Yeah, we couldn't quite tell with the angles. I hope Archie Gray didn't get that last touch. That would be very unfortunate on him, but it really doesn't matter. And look, I said Spurs have been excellent in the first half and deserved to be 2-0 up at half-time, but Hoffenheim 100% deserved to have scored in this second half. They've been much the better side. Spurs have both with and without the ball, as good as they were in the first, have been poor in the second. And this goal's been coming, and yeah, we said it, it's game on.
Here's Ben Davies, a test of character as much as fitness and ability now for Spurs. Archie Gray forward, but the ball is ushered behind by Pavel Kaderabek. 20 minutes to play. Hoffenheim 1, Tottenham 2. I said Spurs didn't keep many clean sheets, and they haven't kept one tonight. Ange Postecoglou must be pondering how he can change the direction of travel.
He can't though, can he, with the bench that he's got?
Maybe that was always going to be an issue. Jurasek with a cross, blocked by Pedro Porro. Back to Jurasek again. Socks rolled down to the ankles, Jack Grealish style. Here's Kramaric. Dispossessed by Maddison, and Kulusevski prods it forward to Gray. Only Son ahead of him. It's Mikey Moore who carries the fight for Spurs. Kulusevski on the overlap. Level with the 18-yard line. Back into Mikey Moore again. Moore forced away from goal. Then finds Bentancur. Bentancur on this Tottenham left-hand side. With 19 minutes to play, 2-1 they lead. That lead all of a sudden feels very precarious. Dragusin out to Pedro Porro. Good spell of possession this from Spurs, just what they wanted after conceding that goal. Moore keeps the ball in play on this near touchline. Gives it back to Gray. Two teenagers combining for Tottenham. Now Bentancur back to halfway and Davis once more.
Well, this is what they need to do. They need to keep the ball.
Dragusin almost gave it away with a heavy touch.
Yes. But at least they were going from left to right, right to left, back to front and back again. You know, again, they've got to control the tempo of the game, even if they're not creating chances. They've lost that completely in this second half. And it's not as if Ange has lots of options off the bench. He really doesn't. He's made one already with Mikey Moore. So it's down to these players to take control of the situation here. They're starting to.
Pedro Porro picks up the ball from Son, but then he's barged off it. Kramaric dropping deep into his own half, plays it against Son, and fouls the Tottenham captain. Surely, no, referee says no, play on. Son, absolutely incandescent with that decision. Hoffenheim 1, Spurs 2 on Talksport 2. It's a busy night of European action and EFL action as well, with Wrexham against Birmingham still to come. Orsted helps the ball into the path of Logic. It's cleared by Spurs to the halfway line where Socki takes over. Hoffenheim coming forward down their left-hand side with Stach. He plays it out to the right, and Pavel Kaderabek. It's out play for a Hoffenheim throw. Home fans in excellent voice now as the ball is chipped forward towards the penalty area. Nodded away by Archie Gray, and again by the former Leeds man. Little Rabona pass from Bischoff into midfield probably epitomises the confidence that Hoffenheim are now playing with all of a sudden. Here's Jurasek, deep cross from him straight into the arms of Austin. 2-1 Spurs.
That's all it takes though, isn't it? Get the ball wide, ball coming in, couple of midfielders running in, that third man late run, the midfielder not picking up. Suddenly everything has just changed. To be fair to the fans, they stayed positive, and even when they were 2-0 down, but they're watching it now and they know their team is really in this and can easily get a point out of the game. Something we're thinking it really shouldn't be happening at half time.
I mean, a point doesn't really help Hoffenheim too much. They'll stay in 28th place, so one of those elimination places, but only a point beneath the top 24, and of course ahead of the 8 o'clock kick-off is Bergvall down the right hand side for Tottenham. Pedro Porro with a cross in. Oh, he's picked up by Son inside the area, but just delayed getting the shot away. And it's cleared by Akpoguma.
Good ball in though from Pedro Porro. We know he's got a great right foot. It just kind of bounced up. It was difficult for Son to try and chest it, take it away from the defender and have a shot almost all in one movement. Been better since they've got their goal. Hoffenheim. Spurs have been much better. Talked about that possible or non-penalty, should have been a kick up the backside. The goal certainly has been.
16 minutes to play. Hoffenheim 1, Spurs 2. Ball into the area. Kulusevski is going to try and cut it back here from the byline. Runs it out of play, but it hit a Hoffenheim defender. It's going to be a corner. The goalkeeper is not at all happy with that decision.
When he gets to the byline and it's so tight, there's two defenders around. I'm not even sure the ball goes out. Yeah, it does in the end. And the keeper's right. It's come off Kulusevski. He's got the last touch. Should be a goal kick, not a corner, but an opportunity for Spurs for sure.
Son is going to whip this in. Tottenham leading by 2-1 on Talksport 2. Referee just delaying the kick being taken. There's a bit of pushing and shoving inside the penalty area. Kulusevski and Socki exchanging a handshake. These are the situations that Tottenham need to make the most of. Son to whip it in. Right footed from the left-hand side. He puts his left arm in the air, the captain. That bright yellow armband. And it's hoisted away by Jurasek. Picked up over on the right touchline by Kulusevski, and his crosses straight into the arms of Baumann, who immediately volleys the ball forward, asking a little bit too much of Adam Plodzic. I mentioned that he's seen a lot more of the ball, the Czech Republic international, in the second half.
Yeah, he has. It's a right idea by Baumann, but he's going to get quickly on the counter while Spurs hadn't got back, but it would have been some touch from Kozlek to bring that down. And look, where Spurs were really good in the first half, there's two players I want to see more on the ball, James Maddison and Lucas Bergvall. I thought they were superb in those first 45 minutes, and one of the reasons why they haven't been as good, Spurs, was those two haven't got on the ball.
13 minutes to play. Hoffenheim 1, Spurs 2. Tottenham into the top 8 as it stands ahead of the 8 o'clock kickoffs, but they're going to need to see out this victory to maintain that status. Hoffenheim are giving it away cheaply. Bentancur in midfield, forward to Mikey Moore. Son now 10 yards outside the penalty area, into the box. Son, left-footed shot into the bottom corner. Son at the double, and Tottenham restore their 2-goal advantage. That should be the goal that seals the points for Spurs. And on the night when they needed leaders, it's the captain who's come up with a 2-goal salvo. It is Hoffenheim 1, Tottenham 3.
Well, I tell you what, Spurs needed that. And absolutely, give it to your captain, and look what he's done there. It's a bit too easy, really, from a defensive point of view. First of all, they just give the ball away. Mikey Moore does really well, almost in that false 9 position, so it's Son out on the left. He does a step over. He doesn't actually have to do too much to get an extra half a yard. And the angle he's at, it needs to be some strike on his left foot, but to be fair to him, it is. Giving Baumann no chance whatsoever. Agboguma needs to be closer. He's right to show him on his left foot, away from goal, but it's not anywhere near tight enough. But if the strike is good enough, like it was, then your keeper's not going to have much chance. God, I tell you what, it was game on at 2-1. Now it's a huge sigh of relief from Ange Postecoglou and Spurs, I'm sure. 3-1. It's not a great Hoffenheim side. I don't see them coming back from this.
And that's Son into double figures for the season, courtesy of his double in Germany tonight. Hoffenheim have made a change. Their goal scorer Anton Stack has been replaced. Mokwa and Tusu is on. Such an important goal, particularly in terms of the timing, having been bang under pressure for most of this second half. Tottenham, they've soaked up that pressure, and maybe now they've got the 3 points in the bag, and it looks like that might be the last action that Son will see tonight as he applauds the travelling supporters. Tottenham have made their second change of the evening. Job done as far as the captain is concerned, and Will Lancashire is on to replace Spurs number 7.
Well, Will Lancashire had a very eventful game in the Europa League against Galatasaray, didn't he? Let's see if he can do half of what he did. Get a goal but not get sent off.
What a crazy night that was over in Istanbul. It's never boring, is it? Watching Tottenham 3-1 they lead. There's 10 minutes of normal time to play. Postecoglou will appreciate the resilience and character this patched-up team have shown, certainly after conceding early in the second half. You wondered if events might turn against them, but that third goal just settles the nerves amongst the travelling contingent. As Kaderabak is fouled on the byline and wins a free kick in the right-back position. More changes afoot as far as Hoffenheim are concerned. Tom Bischoff, very talented teenager, as Scott has alluded to, probably on his way to Bayern Munich at the end of the season, is one of those who is going off. Artur Chavez, the Brazilian, coming on, and Adam Plodzic is also exiting stage left over on the far side, so a double change. Michela replacing the Czech. And all of a sudden it's Tottenham voices that are ringing out around this stadium. Looks like they're foot into the round of 16 as a result of this victory this evening. 9 minutes to play, Spurs 3, Hoffenheim 1 away from home. You'd expect them, Scott, to beat Elfsborg next week as well.
Yeah, I think I'm right in saying they haven't got a point away from home yet, Elfsborg, but they're still fighting to try and get into the playoffs themselves, and that's why it's just important to get all 3 points tonight.
Shear sliding the pass forward to Kulusevski inside the penalty area. It's ushered behind for a corner for Spurs. Psychologically, how much would that goal have taken out of Hoffenheim as well?
A lot. You can almost see the body language now, not just actually of the players, but the fans as well, and the players on the bench and how angry they are. Yeah, no, it was a massive goal. And now it's a question of, again, James Maddison, get back on the ball, control the tempo of the game, just pass. You don't need to create chances. If we can get a fourth in now, it's definitely game over.
Maddison to whip it in from the near side. Find Bergvall at the near post. It's cleared as far as Kulusevski. Wonderful take from the sky by him. Kulusevski with the ball in. Dragusin tried to get on the end of it. It's cleared, and Kramaric now deep inside his own half is tripped by Maddison. Free kick for Hoffenheim. Try and take it quickly, and Lancashire is wrestling to win it back, and he does well to do so. Here's Bergvall. He goes back to the halfway line, and Archie Gray. Hoffenheim 1, Tottenham 3. You're listening to the Europa League live on Talksport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Enterprise has vans of all shapes and sizes. If you've got a plan, we've got a van. Tottenham's plan executed to perfection so far tonight. 2 up at half-time. Maddison scoring very early. Son doubling that tally midway through the first half. They did concede soon after the restart. Anton Stack with a goal for Hoffenheim, but Son's second of the night. Tottenham's third has eased any nerves among those travelling fans, and there's a good ball forward to Will Lancashire. Big burly centre forward. Back to Maddison now wearing the captain's armband, and Mikey Moore comes over to this near side for Tottenham. 4 teenagers out there now for Spurs. One of them, Archie Gray, in possession just inside the Hoffenheim half, and they are controlling the tempo of the game.
Yeah, you were right there earlier on to try and win the game. The ideal, win the game early, and you can put some of the youngsters on, and look, anything can happen with 7 minutes to play plus injury time, but you would think now Tottenham will do, but it has given Ange the ability to put some youngsters on. Youngsters he can rely on who have had first team experience. Well, Lancashire looks like he's willing to run around and wants the ball. Mikey Moore, I think, has come on and done very well, been very safe in what he's needed to do. He's not giving the ball away. So in the end, it's not been a complete perfect performance from Spurs, but boy, were they taking this at the start of the game.
Here's Bergvall, just inside the centre circle for Spurs. Forward to Maddison. Maddison out to Lancashire on the left-hand side. It's Hoffenheim 1, Tottenham 3. Now Archie Gray back to Ben Davis. Tottenham comfortable just playing the ball around inside their own half. Bentancur out to the right, and Dejan Kulusevski, little chip pass into midfield, finds Maddison. The touch from him to bring it under control, and then switch it out to the left, and Archie Gray finding Moore. And Moore skipping over one challenge, then claims he was brought down by Kaderabek. Referee deems it a fair challenge. Hoffenheim able to play on, but deep inside their own half, away to our left. 5 and a bit minutes remaining. Hoffenheim 1, Spurs 3. Wrexham Birmingham from League One when we're finished here is the next live commentary on Talksport 2. It gets underway at 8 o'clock tonight, same time on Talksport. Manchester United Rangers. Here is David Jurasek down the left-hand side for Hoffenheim. Watched each of their previous 4 meetings with English opponents. Looks like that will be 5 for 5 after tonight. Go back now though, it might set up a grandstand finish. Ball crossed into the area, headed clear by Davis. Bentancur finding Kulusevski. How ambitious do Tottenham want to be here in terms of hunting a fourth, or is Kulusevski content just to keep possession? He's neatly turned away from the challenge of 2 Hoffenheim players, trying to slide it forward for Lancashire, and it's intercepted by Michelin. 86 on the clock. Hoffenheim need 2 goals to rescue anything from this one. The ball is launched forward and collected by Brandon Austin inside his own 18-yard box. What have you made of his performance, the Spurs goalkeeper?
I think he's been very assured. He hasn't had a great deal to do, but when he has been called upon, he's looked good. He's made a couple of good saves. He's looked decent on crosses, not dropped any balls at all. And I think on the penalty that was rescinded, I don't think there's anything more he could have done. He had to move a yard, no more than that. He was stronger than Murstead, and that's why it perhaps looked worse than it did, but he got the touch first.
It's a brilliant challenge on the edge of the penalty area by Davis, just as Hoffenheim were building up a head of steam again. And here comes Kulusevski racing down the right-hand side. It's Hoffenheim 1, Spurs 3. Kulusevski thought about playing the ball forward, then opts to go back to Pedro Porro. I think they're content here, Tottenham, just to play a bit of keep ball for the final 3 minutes plus stoppage time and run down the clock, try and conserve their energy for that big league game against Leicester on Sunday. Here is Rodrigo Bentancur finding Maddison with the captain's armband. He plays it out to the left, and Archie Gray.
I think wins like this as well, not just in terms of what you see in the Europa League table, but just the psychology, the mentality of where Spurs are, you know, the 1 win in 10 in all competitions, and where they are in the Premier League. It just stops the negativity and you start being positive. And if they can go back-to-back victories and get that win against Leicester as well, then suddenly it's amazing how the training ground just changes on a daily basis, and that momentum really can build into what we've already talked about as it's a really crucial few weeks coming up, both not just in the league and in the Europa League as well, but in the domestic cup competitions.
Chance here for Hoffenheim though, deep cross into the penalty area. Austin thought about coming, stayed on his line. That's a mistake, because Mokwa has headed into the far corner, and Hoffenheim, with 2 minutes to go, have a late lifeline. Hoffenheim 2, Spurs 3, and I think you have to put that down, Scott, as a goalkeeping error.
Well, it's a wonderful ball in. First of all, no one stopped the cross. But even from there, there's too many people there. You can see no one's picking him up at the far post. Yeah, in an ideal world, you want your keeper coming out, but it really is a great ball in. I don't think there's anybody on him there. Pedro Porro, he's had to leave his man to go into the middle, but then no one's seen that. He's not talking to anyone to come and drop in. He's inside the 6-yard box, so yes, you want your keeper to come out, but he's tried to come out. I think the ball was that good. He's there at the far post. It's a simple header. It's communication, a lack of from Pedro Porro, because he's got to come inside and he's not calling anyone else in. But in the end, oh my goodness, just when you think, I mean, it's so Spurs, isn't it? Can't even sort of get comfortable with a win towards the end. It's got to be somehow exciting. Not always in a good way.
And Postecoglou's reaction to conceding that goal is to replace James Maddison with a 17-year-old Callum Ulasesi. He's an England under-17 international, comes on for his debut, and he's on the ball straight away. Ulasesi driving towards the penalty area. 5 teenagers out there now for Tottenham, and one of them Will Lancashire wasn't strong enough, and he's been dispossessed on the edge of the Hoffenheim penalty area. You're listening to Hoffenheim against Tottenham in the Europa League, live on Talksport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever the mission, home or away, Enterprise helps 120,000 people every day. 30 seconds of normal time to play, and Tottenham will be hoping there's not much in the way of added on time, Scott.
Absolutely. Well, it is interesting, isn't it? You've just conceded. It's 3-2. A couple of minutes to go, and you bring on a 17-year-old for James Maddison.
We welcome back listeners from TalkSport. We've got 15 seconds of normal time remaining. Son's second goal for Spurs on the evening. Their third. Look to have put this game beyond Hoffenheim, but they've got it back to 3-2. The Bundesliga side. And we're into 5 added minutes at the end of the 90. Tottenham clinging on, Scott Minter.
But you know what? Again, it's so Spurs. They're so comfortable in the first half, 2-0. Okay, just keep on doing what you were doing in the second, and they didn't. A penalty given, then it was rescinded, and rightly so, of course. But then just a couple of minutes after that, they do concede, which Hoffenheim deserved. Then they get that third, make it 3-1. And yet somehow still don't just see the game out. It's really edge of the seats kind of stuff being a Spurs fan, isn't it?
Might have another bit of defending to do here. Deep ball into the area from Jurasek, can't keep it in play. Akpoguma at the far post. It's a goal kick for Tottenham, and they have 4 minutes of added time to see out. Hoffenheim 2, Tottenham 3.
Got them to keep the ball, just get hold of the ball, make the pitch as big as possible. Then if you do lose it, make it as tight as possible. And again, I think Hoffenheim, to be fair to them, have shown a lot of character in the second half, considering they were completely outplayed in the first. But if Spurs don't come away with all 3 points in this game, they will be thinking, what on earth do we have to do to win a game, to work out how to win a game? And we talked about, being positive of these 3 points going forward could do for them over what is a crucial few weeks coming up. If they do concede another goal and don't win this, it's only going to add to the negativity.
3.5 minutes of stoppage time to play. Ball clipped forward by Hoffenheim, headed away by Pedro Porro. You feel like all of the last 3 minutes here are going to be played in the Tottenham half. David Jurasek, the Czech, coming forward down the left for Hoffenheim. They've got the fresh legs out there. These Tottenham players running on empty. Ball in by Kramaric. Oh, and it was nodded down by Morstead inside the penalty area. Cleared as far as Becker. Thought about the shot, plays it out to the left-hand side. Jurasek's going to get the chance to cross back in there. Kramaric was lurking, nodded away by Ben Davis, now wearing the captain's armband for Spurs, and he's just poked it out to this right-hand side. Should Morstead have gone for goal? He tried to nod it down with Akpoguma up there as an extra striker, and Tottenham were able to clear it.
Boy, yes, should he have. My goodness me, his body position was all wrong. It was a great ball in. No one was picking him up.
Jurasek with a cross into the area, hits Pedro Porro. Kept alive by Mokwa, scorer of the second goal for the German side. Half away by Ulasesi, but they can't clear their lines here, Tottenham, and the cross is in again, blocked behind by Archie Gray. They're screaming for a handball against the teenager. They want the penalty. Hoffenheim, the referee says corner in the 93rd minute on Talksport 2. Hoffenheim 2, Tottenham 3.
Not a penalty from the angle that I saw. It has come off his arm, but his arm is right next to his torso, so no chance whatsoever. But my goodness me, the way that Spurs are letting the pressure come onto them.
Pressure here on Brandon Austin, the goalkeeper. Kramaric to deliver, not a great ball in. Pedro Porro nods it clear at the near post, helped away by Moore. Kulusevski on the chase. Oh, he had a man over there. If he could bring it under his spell, he couldn't. But at least Tottenham have got the ball now up to the halfway line with only 90 seconds to play. And there's an opportunity here for Lancashire. After Hoffenheim made a mistake inside their own half. Lancashire on the edge of the penalty area. Gives it to Kulusevski. Does he cross it in here or just try and keep it by the corner flag? I think he's caught in two minds. In the end, he does just go towards that right corner flag and look to waste a few valuable seconds. Well, he wants a corner. Kulusevski, the assistant on the far side, had a good view, says goal kick, and one last opportunity in the final of 5 added minutes for Hoffenheim to launch it forward.
Yeah, I actually thought that was a corner, although a little bit earlier on, Kulusevski got a little bit of luck. Yeah, we're 50 seconds away from Spurs getting what is actually a deserved victory, but boy, are they hanging on right now.
Big roar goes up from the travelling fans as Akpoguma's switch of play sails over the head of Jurasek out for a throw. And the look of resignation on one or two of the Hoffenheim players suggests they know that maybe that's their last chance of salvation at the end of the game. Throw in for Tottenham, 20 seconds of added time to play. 3-2 they lead in Germany. Pedro Porro plays it down the line for Lancashire, can't keep it, so maybe they will get it forward one last time here, Hoffenheim. Back with the goalkeeper Baumann. Launches it, right-footed, over halfway. One back inside the centre circle by Bentancur, and time is pretty much up in terms of those minimum 5 added minutes. Back to Baumann again, who's urging his side forward, the goalkeeper. But there is no time left. Tottenham players collapse in exhaustion. Only 10 senior outfield bodies for Ange Postecoglou to call upon tonight, but they've got the job done. It's 3 precious away points in the Europa League to plant one foot firmly in the round of 16. They were 2-0 up and cruising Tottenham at half-time. James Maddison, with only 3 minutes on the clock, opened the scoring, lashing into the roof of the Hoffenheim net. Son doubled that lead midway through the first half with a deflected effort, but then Hoffenheim came right back into it after half-time. Anton Stach reduced the deficit on 68 minutes before Son scored his second and Tottenham's third. A neat finish into the far corner with 13 minutes to play. It looked like game over, but Hoffenheim with Mokwa heading them back in the game with 2 minutes of normal time to play, and in the end Scott Minto was a lot more nervy for Spurs than maybe it should have been.
Well, it's just so Spurs, isn't it? Even when they win, they don't win in a really comfortable way. The Spurs fans are still very nervous, but listen, it was a really good first half performance. I thought they were excellent both offensively and defensively, and then you wanted a similar performance in the second half. You know this side in Germany are going to come at you a little bit more. But what was disappointed me, it was the likes of Bergvall and Maddison, where they dominated the first half with the ball. Couldn't see them in the second. Absolutely deserved to come back into it 2-1, but then you make it 3-1. Again, is it going to be comfortable? Again, no, it's not. But in the end, they got the 3 points. I do think they were the better side over the whole of the 90 minutes, but it was just a typical Spurs performance. But they got what they came to do. And what, they're pretty much there now, aren't they, almost?
Yeah, brilliant win for Tottenham as they salute their travelling supporters. It's time now for us to pick our man of the match with Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
Man of the match on Talksport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Enterprise has vans of all shapes and sizes, so if you've got a plan, we've got a van.
Well, not the easiest of tasks, Scott Minto. Who are you going to go for?
No, it's not. I'm looking at them. I thought Richarlison did well coming back and the time he was on the pitch. Archie Gray yet again showing what an incredible old head on young shoulders he is. I thought Ben Davies was superb as well coming in at centre half, but I'm actually going to give it to Rodrigo Bentancur. I thought because of his performance both first and second half, whereas we didn't quite see Bergvall and Maddison in the second like we did in the first, he was still trying to help protect the back four, even though it was more and more difficult, but at times he made some really good interceptions. So